Hi, my name is Heather Francisco, and I'm a Board Certified Behavior Analyst with DiNovi & Associates. In this video, I will be discussing whether experimental functional analyses, or FAs for short, conducted by parents at home with coaching via telehealth would produce differentiated results as compared to the functions identified from structured descriptive assessments, or SDAs for short, also conducted by parents at home via telehealth. The study being analyzed was conducted by Martins et al. In 2019. Implications for conducting functional analyses and interpreting structural descriptive assessments via telehealth are discussed throughout this video. This video illustrates the following items from the 5th edition BACB task list. F6, describe the common functions of problem behavior. F7, conduct a descriptive assessment of problem behavior. F8, conduct a functional analysis of problem behavior. And F9, interpret functional assessment data. The purposes of Martin's study were A, to examine if experimental functional analyses conducted by parents at home with remote behavioral coaching via telehealth would produce differentiated results, and B, to evaluate the correspondence between two approaches for analyzing videos of parent-implemented structured descriptive assessments, or SDAs for short, and results of experimental FAs. FAs are conducted to identify the maintaining variables of challenging behavior. Since Brian Iwata's seminal article was published in 1982, hundreds of studies have reported outcomes of FAs in different settings, with different populations, and for a variety of challenging behaviors. For this reason, the FA, as described by Iwata, has become the gold standard. The importance of identifying behavioral function is clear in the field of applied behavior analysis. Function-based interventions have been shown, as evidenced by many meta-analyses, to result in significantly better treatment outcomes. SDAs, as part of a behavior assessment process, focus on the motivating operations of individuals being assessed. In SDAs, challenging behaviors are measured under different manipulated or structured antecedent context in the natural environment. Results can be reported in regards to frequency, duration, or rate of behavior in each antecedent context. And this makes for a clean visual analysis by means of either a line graph or a bar graph. In this study, the researchers utilized remote consultation through Google Hangout Meets to provide coaching for the parents of 4 boys ranging from 4 to 8 years old. The participants used their laptops with a microphone and video. All sessions were recorded with an additional camera by researchers. If participants did not have a laptop, they were loaned a Chromebook. Researchers used a computer with a microphone and a video. Equipment, software, and platforms were practiced explicitly between researchers and parents before implementation with children. Sessions were synchronous, which means they were conducted live, but the sessions were also recorded by the researchers for future study. The participants were Leo, Jay, Bill, and Corey. Leo's target behaviors included crying and screaming. Jay's target behaviors included hitting and headbanging. Bill's target behaviors included aggression, property destruction, yelling, crying, and screaming. And Corey's target behaviors included aggression, yelling, and grabbing. All sessions were conducted by parents in each child's home while receiving remote coaching from the researchers. The researchers chose to use SDAs to identify the context in which challenging behavior was most likely to occur. Based on these observations and calculating the percentage of intervals in when a challenging behavior occurred, the researchers were able to generate hypotheses regarding behavioral function. The antecedent context utilized in the study's SDAs were diverted attention, restricted access, demand, and free play. The child's parents were instructed to implement the antecedents as instructed by the remote coaches and respond as they typically would if they weren't receiving coaching. Essentially, the parents were instructed not to manipulate consequences and act as they normally would. Throughout the study, Leo and Jay's parents showed 100% compliance with following coaching instructions. Corey's parents showed 92% compliance, and Bill's parents showed 80% compliance. As previously mentioned, the gold standard FAs were conducted to test the effects of specific consequences on problem behavior. Consequences were isolated and manipulated to test their effect on each child and their challenging behaviors. The FA in this study consisted of 4 conditions: free play, attention, tangible, and escape. The remote coaches prompted the parents to arrange motivating operations and to deliver the relevant consequences in each condition of the FA, contingent upon the occurrence of the challenging behavior. Throughout the study, Leo and Corey's parents demonstrated 100% procedural integrity, while Bill's parents demonstrated 67% procedural integrity, and Jay's parents demonstrated 36% procedural integrity. In regards to the SDA, the researchers analyzed two relationships: antecedent behavior, referred to as AB, and behavior consequence, referred to as BC. The results of the SDA and the AB relationship analysis showed that Leo engaged in challenging behaviors in 62% of intervals in the demand context. Corey engaged in challenging behavior in 15% of intervals in the demand context and 10% of intervals in the tangible context. Jay's challenging behaviors were low and undifferentiated across all contexts, and Bill engaged in challenging behavior in 52% of intervals in the tangible context, 16% of intervals in the demand context. In analyzing the BC relationship, it was suggested that Leo's challenging behaviors were maintained by attention and escape. Corey and Jay's challenging behaviors were maintained by attention and tangibles, and Bill's challenging behaviors were maintained by escape. The results of the FA, however, suggest that Leo and Corey's challenging behaviors were maintained by escape, and Jay's challenging behaviors were possibly maintained by tangibles and escape. Bill's FA suggested a clear tangible function and a possible escape function. Overall, analyzing the AB and BC relationships identified only about half of the functions identified by the FA. The AB relations corresponded with the results of the FA, demonstrating that the antecedent behavior relations correctly identified the primary function of behavior for the participants whose results were undifferentiated. For example, Jay's challenging behavior occurred at low, undifferentiated rates in the AB analysis. In the BC relationship analysis, excluding attention, which will be discussed below, the analysis identified 83% of functions identified by the FA, even when SDA results were undifferentiated. At the conclusion of the study, the authors mentioned that differentiated results were obtained for all participants in the FA. This suggests that the function of challenging behaviors can be identified when parents were coached remotely. Something to consider, however, is the procedure in the SDA. In this SDA, parents were instructed to respond as usual. These responses consisted of considerable amounts of attention, as well as responding to both challenging and appropriate behaviors on similar intermittent schedules. This is certainly a limitation due to the possibility of inadvertently reinforcing a challenging behavior with attention when the intent is to redirect a child or to give an instruction. The study demonstrated that while conducting FAs and SDAs via telehealth is certainly advantageous, especially when there are barriers to in vivo assessments, there are some limitations. The approach is best suited for families with no internet connectivity issues. Additionally, when recording videos for SDAs, there is a clear disadvantage if videos do not capture at least some instances or occurrences of challenging behavior. While there was a high level of compliance and procedural integrity for most parents in this study, another limitation was that parents manipulated motivating operations infrequently. This may account for undifferentiated results in SDAs. The most success in terms of differentiated results came from parent-conducted FAs, suggesting that this is the best option via telehealth. When conducting an FA with remote coaching is not possible or desirable for some reason, or another differentiated results of brief SDAs may be used as an alternative to accurately identifying behavioral function. Thank you for watching. Special thanks to Evan Rubin, aspiring BCBA. Please subscribe to the channel and leave any questions or comments below.